In an earlier clip, we featured 4 good hitters in the roll of the lead arm in the swing, and so now I thought it'd be helpful if we featured the back arm. So this is David Wright, and so I'm just going to cycle him forward here and point out how he uses his back arm. And one of the things I want you to really pay attention to as we go through these hitters is how far back their back elbow stays during rotation. In other words, for them to really apply maximum torque to the bat, THT, to get the bat accelerating rearward, it's highly important that the back elbow does not swing underneath to accomplish that. What happens is their back, what you're going to see is their back elbow lowers down, but as it does, it lowers down back behind him so that the forearm then is applying a rearward force. I think we can just point that out by bringing him on down now. Here David is starting down. Notice how far back the back elbow is staying. Notice here at the rollover point how far back it is. Now this is highly important, like I say, because in most average swings, what we see here is that the back elbow swings down and underneath the armpit. And in doing so, that creates a lot of looseness, in other words, in the swing, and allows the lead shoulder to rotate almost like freewheeling without applying much pressure on the knob end of the bat. But by keeping that back elbow back like this, you're almost like you're trying to keep the elbow separate as far as possible. This allows now all this rotation of the lead shoulder now to really apply a pulling force on the knob end of that bat that is causing that acceleration we see. And as we can see here now, as he reaches the lag position even, notice how far back the back elbow stays. I think you're going to see this now in all the players that we go through. And as we come on around, notice right here he'd be hitting the ball straight away if he were making contact at this point. And yeah, there's that L in the back arm that we talked about so much. And so anyway, now he's going to be pulling this ball, so here he's slightly extended. But anyway, let's back that up, and I want you to watch one more time as we bring him down, how far back that back elbow stays, and then watch the rearward acceleration of the bat. So it's not just the lowering, in other words, of the elbow that causes the bat head to accelerate rearward. It is actually the pulling back of the forearm on that handle as the lead shoulder pulls on the knob end that causes the bat really to accelerate. See how far back the elbow is staying. And we'll bring him on around to contact again. Now let's stop and take a look at another hitter. Now this is Ken Griffey Jr., so let's take a look at his back arm and see if we see the same thing we saw in David Wright. Notice here he's coming down, getting to the rollover point. Notice how far back he kept that elbow as the forearm rolled. Do you see that? Coming on around and into contact, and you can see the L position there he has here. So once again, we'll take another quick look at it. Starting from the launch position, the back elbow comes down, yes, but it doesn't swing underneath. Right here now, he's going to pull back with that back elbow, allowing the lead shoulder to apply that force. Do you see that? Now this is what is really making that bat really take off. This is Petroria, so let's take a look at his swing. And we're into contact, and there's the L position and everything. Let's look at it one more time here, because he really does keep that elbow back. This really accounts for a lot of how a small person like he does generates all that power. Do you see how far back that elbow stays? Now notice it is not going to swing underneath, because like I said before, if you allow that lead elbow now to swing down and under, that creates slack, so that actually the lead shoulder isn't really applying a force, it's more or less taking up the slack from that movement. So that by keeping that back elbow back, like you see here, that really allows him now to apply maximum force on the bat. Now we take a look at David Ortiz. I think you'll see pretty close to the same thing. Even though he really keeps bent elbows and everything, the same principle still applies. and here we are in the contact position. Well, that's the four good hitters, and you can see, I think, through all of these how they're really not using that back arm to drive forward. It's amazing to me sometimes when I listen to a lot of broadcasts on TV and so forth that when a good hitter comes up and hits a long home run, what do you hear him say? I think the first thing that you'll hear most all is, boy, he really got his arms extended on that one. But as we looked at all of these hitters, the thing we saw is as they come around in here to contact now, and now he's making contact, notice that that back elbow is not extended. The arms are not extended. This extension doesn't occur until well after the ball is gone, and then the arms do extend. So I think when you hear these guys saying this, you might want to take that with a grain of salt.